Yes, it
Explain what you're going to sing.
That's a slate.
I'm going to sing a natural song. Nothing wrong with that, is there?
Camera 2 rolling.
Natural song. I'm going to sing a song about a trooper, and as everyone knows, anyone who went to school, and I met the scholars coming home, knows that a trooper sometimes rides on horseback. And this fellow was away, and unfortunately, it was a married man. And you know when a married man is away from home and he gets a letter from his wife, darling, I love you, and I hope you'll be back soon. She means him not to come back while there's somebody else mowing the lawn at home, which in this case was there was somebody else mowing the lawn for this particular woman. And because he was a trooper, she asked this particular man to take a horse with them so the neighbours would think it was her own husband home on leave. And when he came home Monday night, as drunk as he could be, or Liam Clancy could ever be, he said, "Who owns that horse outside that door?" And she said, "You're drunk, you silly fool. That's the sow that me mother sent me." But as the story, as they say at home, say a song. They never tell you to sing a song. Abadoran, say a song. I'm going to tell you what happened to this poor, unfortunate man who was away from home. And when he came home, what he saw at home didn't please him one little bit. I'm going to sing him. And as I came home on Monday night, as drunk as I could be, I saw a horse outside the door where my own horse should be. I called me wife and said to her, "Will you kindly tell to me who owns that horse outside the door where my own horse should be?" "Aye, you're drunk, you silly old fool, and yet you cannot see that's the sow and bonneau me mother sent to me. Well, it's many a day I travelled 100 miles and more, but a saddle on a sow I never saw before. Now as I came home on Tuesday night, as drunk as I could be, I saw a coat behind the door where my own coat should be. I called me wife and I said to her, "Will you kindly tell to me who owns that coat behind the door where mine should always be?" "Aye, you're drunk, you silly old fool, and still you cannot see that's a woolen blanket me mother sent to me. Well, it's many a day I travelled 100 miles and more, but buttons in a blanket I never saw before. Now as I came home on Wednesday night, as drunk as I could be, I saw two shoes beside the chair where my own shoes should be. I called me wife and I said to her, "Will you kindly tell to me who owns them shoes beside the chair where mine should always be?" "Aye, you're drunk, you silly old fool, and yet you cannot see them are two geranium pots my mother sent to me. Well, it's many a day I travelled 100 miles and more, but laces in geranium pots I never saw before. Now as I came home on Thursday night, as drunk as I could be, I saw a pipe beside the bed where my own pipe should be. I called me wife and I said to her, "Will you kindly tell to me who owns that pipe beside your bed where mine should always be?" "Aye, you're drunk, you silly old fool, and yet you cannot see that's a small tin whistle me mother sent to me. Well, it's many a day I travelled 100 miles and more, but tobacco in a tin whistle I never saw before. Now as I came home on Friday night, as drunk as drunk could be. I saw a head inside the bed where my own head should be. I woke me wife and said to her, will you kindly tell to me, whose is that head with you in the bed where mine should always be? Aye, you're drunk, you son of a gun, and that you cannot see. That's a baby boy me mother sent to me. Well, it's many a day I travelled 100 miles and more, but whiskers on a baby boy I never saw before. On Saturday night he lost his way, so nobody told me, did he come home or not?
Beautiful, Joe. Tell me something about that song.
Well, during the time of Bonaparte, Ireland was always looking for a liberator. And they classed to themselves that Napoleon, as he was liberating France, he might liberate Ireland too. And that's why they wrote so many songs about him. And the Bonnie Bunch of Roses was one name given to England, Ireland and Scotland during Napoleon's reign. Because at that time, one of them had to stand for the other. When Ireland was at war, England was at war, and so on. I'm not saying what way they are now.
As we're in the mood for singing, how about singing us The 5 Drunken Nights?
All right, but I'd like to tell you a bit about it first before I sing it.
You could sing the 7 Drunken Nights if you want.
Oh, I could say the 7 Drunken Nights, and somebody told me there was 8 days in the week that time. There was another night that nobody remembers about at all. But the 5 Drunken Nights is about a man, a married man, of course. He was away in the army.
The army?
Yes, and he was a trooper in the army. And while he was away, somebody else was helping his wife to mow the lawn at night time. And so that the neighbours wouldn't say anything about the other man coming around the house, she asked him to bring a horse with him and put it outside the door. Then everybody thought her own husband was at home, so nobody would say anything. But the song tells you that he wasn't as drunk as she thought he was. And this is what happened.